What up, good people? It's your boy BTG, aka Bust Them Guns. Back at you with another one. So we got a new piece on deck. We're going to unbox this bad boy. We're going to throw some accessories on it, kind of set the stage of what kind of future plans we got for it, let you know how far we're going to take it. Let's get the housekeeping out of the way. This video is for educational purposes only. We're in a safe and controlled environment. We're not selling any firearms, nor are we selling any accessories. We're not promoting the sale of any firearms, nor are we promoting the sale of any accessories. Strictly a product review of my own personal equipment. All right, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Appreciate you stopping by. If you enjoy the content, hopefully you hit that subscribe button and come back and see us. If you're a returning viewer, you know I appreciate the support. Appreciate you being along for the ride, and we're going to keep this journey going. All right, so on deck, we've got first mag is empty, gun is empty, safe direction. Put that mag back in for aesthetics. So this here is our Girsan 2311 BRAT. And this here is the Gold Accent Edition. This is not a new to the market unit. This has been out a while. So this is a new to us unit. What you probably commonly see on this is the all black model. It's a lot of them out there. You can get it in 45 as well as 9. The gold, mostly I've seen it 9, but I assume you can get the gold in 45 as well. But a major difference with the two models is there is an optic ready version of the black one that's out there now, whereas the gold is strictly iron sights. So there is no optic ready version for this one yet. But I think some plans in the works for something a little different, so we'll keep an eye out for that. But what we're going to do is we're going to take this bad boy to the tabletop. We're going to go over it in a little closer details. We've got some accessories already on hand. We've got some more accessories coming. So we're going to throw on what we've got on there, and we're going to talk about what's still in the works that's coming on this bad boy. So this is our unit for here. Just want to bring it in up top. We're going to take it to the tabletop, and we're going to go on from there. So I'll see you on the other side. All right. So we are on the tabletop. We got our box. As you know, those Girsans come in the bright blue familiar box. And we'll just take it from the top. We're not going to go too in depth because, like I say, this is a unit that has been out. So you get your owner's manual there. And within that, they also give you a recommendation for custom work. If you don't have anybody you're working with, they put the cosign arms in there as an option for any upgrades you might be thinking about doing. So we don't need that because we rock with TDS Gunworks. Trent pretty much handles all that. So let's get the unit up out of here. Unit itself comes with only one magazine. So you get the 117 round checkmate mag. Could at least give you 2 mags, but it is what it is. Put the band on there. This is kind of like, I don't know, maybe the signature thing because they put it on them. You can use it as a grip lock to lock that down. I usually take it off, so I'll be taking it off. But this bad boy comes nicely accented. So the gold slide, you got your slide lock, you got the magazine release, you got your ambi safeties. There's also gold. You got your beaver tail and the hammer. So that's pretty cool accents. You've got the Novak style sights on here, the 3-dot with the white dots. So you get a nice sight picture. I don't think I'm going to optic cut this. They haven't officially said anything. I just happened to run across it on the video. But there's going to be another model dropping on this that's going to be optic cut. So I think I'm going to leave this one like it is as far as optic and wait for that next model to come out and see what I think about that one. But we're going to put some subtle enhancements on this bad boy. What I have already, let's just finish. If you're familiar with the gold one, you know they give you the dog tag and the chain. So on one side, you got BRAT. And then on the other side, it says EAA. So nice touch. This is supposed to be gold PVD, just like the PVD on the gun. So nice touch. What we've got already for this bad boy is we've got us a red dirt trigger. So we've got a gold trigger. In hindsight, red dirt triggers and Atlas triggers is a different shade of gold. The Atlas is a little deeper shade of gold and probably going to be more of a match for this gun. But the medium Atlas trigger that I like has been out of stock in most places. So I went ahead and ordered the red dirt. But when it came in, I started looking again because I didn't really like, it's gold, but it's a lighter shade. It would work. It will work. And we might just throw it in here. But that's the shade of gold. And if you lay it right next to it, you can notice the difference. But if it's in the gun, you're not going to notice as much of a difference. If it's right side by side with the Atlas trigger, you'll notice a difference. So I've got the Atlas on the way, but I might just throw that red dirt in there for now, just to see how it looks. What else we have is we've got us a mainspring housing that came in. So we got that bad boy. We're going to throw that on there. And we're going to use our Osight PLX on this bad boy, which I think that's going to be a nice, neat fit. So that's what we've got so far. We're going to break this bad boy down and throw those accessories on there. Fit-wise on this, I was extremely surprised at the tightness. And this bad boy's empty. But if you look at that slide, it is absolutely no movement. And that's no exaggeration. It is no movement on this bad boy. What I usually do is break them down, clean up those rails in there. It doesn't feel bad. You can feel maybe just a little grit, but I don't think it's enough to where I want to go in there sanding. What I'm likely going to do is I'm going to shoot this bad boy, see how it settles in. And I've also got some of the compound here, the paste type compound, that I'm going to put in there on the rails and just rack that bad boy and let it do a little smoothing. But I don't think I'm even going to do that until after I shoot it. So I'm going to let it settle in itself before I do anything internally to the rails and see how it feels after that. Spring's a little tight. I do have a spring on the way. I think the springs that comes in these are like 18, something like that, 18 or 20. So I've got a lighter spring coming. So I am going to change that. But other than that, I don't know what else I'm going to do internally. I know I'm swapping the trigger. I know on my Match X, the sear spring, the coating on it was horrible. So I don't know if they're still using those same sear springs. I'll know when I get in here. I've got some other sear springs, so it won't be a problem changing that. And I'll look at the internals, see what the disconnect and what the sear looks like to see if there's anything I want to do as far as ignition. The trigger on this bad boy, it's heavy. It's well, for hammer fire. This is around 5 pounds is where it is, but the reset is like really strong. It kicks out hard. So the brake doesn't feel bad, and the reset is like really short. Look at this. Yeah. So the brake on it doesn't feel bad. So I may or may not do an ignition kit. Just depends on what it looks like when I get in there. I have not ordered one. So we'll see. But I'm going to take this bad boy, break it down, and we're going to start throwing some parts in here. I don't know if I'll film that. I might just let you see the after, and then we'll just kind of go over it afterwards. Because like I say, this is not a new unit. It's been out there. And once you've installed a trigger, things like that, mainspring, that's not rocket science. So I may show a little bit of it once I've got it broke down, just to let you see the internals, but I'm not going to film the whole process. So we'll break here, and when we come back, we'll have this bad boy broken down. Okay, so we're back in the mix here. Let me just show you what we've got so far as internals. So this bad boy runs a flat wire recoil spring, and it just pops up out of there like so. So this is what I've got coming, a lighter recoil spring. So set that down there. Reverse plug, it's just a small plug, pops in there. Nice metal, that is also gold PVD. So that's a nice touch there. And then our barrel. Barrel's nicely done. This bad boy was oiled up pretty good, but it almost seems like it was more of a preservative and oil. So we'll wipe that off and put some fresh oil on here. But the barrel looks good. So nicely done. Let's drop that down. And then inside of here, it's nice and wet in there. But everything looks nice. Coating is on through. So very well done. Ramp here is polished up. So that looks good. I haven't put a dummy round in there to see what the tension of that extractor feels like, but I'll check that to see if that feels like it's on. But this looks nice and clean. It looks good. And we'll wipe that out because we're going to put some fresh oil in there. So we'll get that stuff out. As far as the frame, the grip module and the frame, this is an aluminum frame. So looks okay. Looks like it's got a little coating on there. So we don't want to really mess with it just yet. We're going to let it shoot into a little bit of smoothness, take some of that off. And like I say, I'll use the compound, but not until after I've ran it at least once. So it was a little wet in here, but like I said, it was more like a preservative because it wasn't straight oil based. So I just kind of wiped that out. Disconnect. I will probably put an ignition kit in here. Couldn't get all the way in there. That brings to the next issue. These screws, I don't know, it seems like they put red Loctite on these bad boys because it is not breaking loose, neither one of them. So we will not be throwing the trigger in here at this time. All my Allen wrenches are just slightly too small to get in there, but I was able to move it, and it's moving the whole lug. It's like tight as hell. So I don't want to strip it out. So I'm going to grab some more Allen wrenches. I haven't had that problem in the past, but I'll get to make sure I've got the exact fit for this bad boy. Nothing I've got seems to be fitting it locked tight. So I'll grab some more. I don't want to strip it out, so I'm not going to force the issue now. The sear spring, it is the same as was in my Match X. This is not the nicest of springs. You can see the coating's already coming off there. And the one in my Match X was even worse. It was even had a little rust starting to build up on it. So I'm not going to put this back in. I've got sear springs, so we'll put that to the side. I've got a couple of springs here, so I'm going to put a Nighthawk custom spring in there. And that is here. Don't know where this is poundage wise, so I'll set it, which I was going to set it anyway, so that works out. What else? We've got our main spring housing, so I'll have to switch that spring over. And I've also got a 17-pound mainspring. So we'll be throwing that in there as well. So that once our recoil spring comes in, we'll just change that and we'll throw the trigger in there. I may end up, after I get these Allen wrenches, if it doesn't break, I may end up drilling these bad boys out. I was going to put gold screws in there anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And lastly, I've got a gold mag weld that we're going to try on this bad boy. It seems like it will fit. It's a little loose. But I've got one coming. This is not going to be on there. I've actually got one on the way that matches the finish here. So this would have just been a placeholder. That does not look all that great. This was the reason why I'm not running it on anything now, because it was more of an orangey finish than a gold. So that's why I didn't use it for what I actually bought it for. So that's why it was sidelined. I do have one other one, and this is the one off of my watchtower, the one that came on the watchtower. I don't even know if that will fit. Let's see. Well, this is definitely not a match. I just want to see if it will fit. Yeah, see, this one here won't even fit on there, which that's fine. I don't want to force it. It seems like it would fit if I forced it on there, but I don't want to force it because it is definitely not a match. That's a whole different shade of gold. Let's see. Definitely different. Yeah. I think I'll just wait on the one to come in. No biggie there. I'll put the black one back on for now. But I'm going to put this sear spring in here. I'm going to set the trigger, and then I'll throw this bad boy back together. I just want to kind of bring you in and give you an update. So When you come back, we'll be going back together with this bad boy. All right, so we are back online. We're as far as we're going to go with it for now. Put our accessories on here, what we had, and we'll finish up the rest once we get the rest. I'll go ahead and roll in footage of before and after. Just let's see where we were and where we are. Not a huge difference, just a difference with the accessories that we had. So let me roll that in, and then we'll come back and wrap up. All right, so as you can see, this is where we are. We put our PLX on there. So we got that. That Olight actually fits nice and flush on this bad boy. So that looks nice. We put some color fill on there. We've got our mainspring housing. So we got that skunk tail running all the way down. We will have our magazine when that comes in. So we'll put the magazine on there. We'll go to the gold mag with the black pen. I went ahead and put some color on these screws. That's going to change. I'm going to be getting some gold screws, but I've got to get something to get these out because once again, I can't get the screws broke loose. They must put a red Loctite on there because some bad boys are not budging, and my Allen wrenches are not the exact size that you need. So I want to get the right size to make sure I don't strip them out. So that's where we are. I did lighten the trigger up on this bad boy. So it is right around 2 pounds now. So that's where I want it. So we'll leave that there. We got our new spring in here, our Sear spring. Got rid of that factory one because it was looking a little rough. And then once we get our trigger in, then we'll come back and we'll update this bad boy and we'll do another update, short video, just kind of bring you on up to speed. But that's where we are. Unboxing, not quite as quick as I wanted it to be, but not going to drag it out any further. Check this bad boy out. Let me know if you got any comments on it. Hit me up. Let me know what you think. Check me out on other platforms at Bust Them Guns, Instagram, Facebook, as well as Rumble. Until next time, holla.